Gisuk hugakik Aiyana Twigg, huini tinachet, one mugantik, hugaki gachi agin gumshasnuk kiit. Hi, my name is Aiyana Twigg. I am Tunacha and Blackfoot. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a third year in the Faculty of Arts program.
Hi, my name is Sukhmeet Sachal. My pronouns are he and him. I am a second year medical student.
My name is Deea. My pronouns are she, hers. I am a third year science student.
My name is Njamba Koffi. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a fourth year arts student, and I'm one of this year's Faces of Today award recipients.
And I'm one of this year's Faces of Today award recipient.
And I'm one of this year's Faces of Today award recipient.
And I am one of this year's Faces of Today's award recipient. While I was at UBCO, I was a host for the Aboriginal Programs and Services and a co-facilitator for the Indigenous Living Learning community on campus, where I was able to create a community for first-year students where they could meet other Indigenous students on campus. So when I had transferred to UBC Vancouver, I reached out to my Indigenous academic advisors and asked them ways I could become involved in the same ways at UBC. They had mentioned the Arts Indigenous Student Peer Advisor role and the Indigenous Leadership Collective, and once I heard them talk about it, I had known that this is what I wanted to do. In our most recent ILC meeting, we discussed the 1492 land back lane and ways we can become involved in this movement. We are actually going to be writing an informative letter to other UBC students to inform them of Indigenous issues going on. It is really important for us to optimize our voices while attending UBC and inform as many people as we can about Indigenous issues going on.
So in 2017, I had the opportunity to travel to the Arctic and volunteer there for 6 months. Here, I was an assistant teacher working with Indigenous youth, and I was really trying to help them through their academic education. But at the same time, I was hearing a lot of stories from these youth about reconciliation, about climate change, about mental health. And my brother actually just went to the Arctic. And when he returned from his trip, he, at his school, created this conversation with his friends, and I was taking my youth in the Arctic, and we were having a joint conversation between each other, and they asked each other questions. First of all, they were just asking, general questions. Then it started delving into deeper conversations. And so again, that's where we wanted to focus Break the Divide on, is how can we turn empathy into action? So Break the Divide now has spread to over 10 countries around the world, where we have youth talking to each other and fostering these conversations.
It was during my volunteering I realized there was kind of a gap in nutrition education, so I created this project to implement nutrition education for women who are living at shelters at this organization called Atira Women's Resource Society. I got funding for it through the Connect to Community grant, and I led a team of about 12 UBC dietetics and food and nutrition students, worked with the staff at Atira, also a couple of professional dietitians, and then we ran this project. And I think it can often be very intimidating to think of instilling change. It's just an undergraduate student or a youth, but everyone has a couple of resources in their hand. Even if you think of it just being as a UBC student, I got the funding from a UBC grant. So I just want to be able to kind of empower everyone to think that you can work towards taking that step to instilling that change.
I joined UBC AAI as soon as I got at UBC. Myself and my partner Caroline did plan a conference which brought together professors and students and different staff members to really discuss where we see African studies at UBC going, because it's one of the most underfunded, underrepresented programs at UBC. One of the highlights as well is working with Nuno Porto, the curator for African collections at the Museum of Anthropology, applying for this award. We got the funding, $95,000, to really invest in hiring students who are then working to decolonize the African collections at UBC, and finally giving some of these artifacts and objects coming from Africa some dignity they deserve.